I intend to rebuild Kaer Morhen. That's what I'm supposed to do, right? That's what I want Geralt to be doing. I'm tired, I want peace and quiet. Only now do I feel my new life beginning. You know, I want peace and quiet. I don't think my Geralt want that. As I've said before, he's dutiful to the Witcher Order, and he will do anything in his power to set the order right and whatever. I think I'm going back to Vesemir. I don't know. I'm going back to my ranks.
Only now
I don't know.
I feel my new life beginning.
Born anew, baptized in blood and
Not
fire.
really, but whatever.
A new ballad? Sounds too pompous, Dandelion. Take a look around. Life is simple, unpredictable, and beautiful.
That's something new. You returned from the netherworld, got entangled in a real mess. You faced beasts and bastards who did you harm. And you're telling me life is beautiful?
You're exaggerating again. Something ends, something begins. I'll take the last of the stolen secrets, take a deep breath, and move on.
Yes.
What can I say? Godspeed on your path, Witcher.
Let's go drink.
It seemed the conflict between the Order of the Flaming Rose and the Scoia'tael would turn Vizima into charred ruins. Foltest, however, found a solution. He let the two sides bleed each other. The Order's power waned quickly following the Grand Master's mysterious death. The flower of elven youth perished. Fighting in Vizima's streets, there were no victors. The non-human uprising weakened Temeria, and Foltest realized he would need capable diplomats. Triss Merigold became a royal advisor. Sorceresses gained influence. The king punished or exiled those who had plotted against him in his absence. They were, of course, soon replaced by others.
Plotting.
Common folk saw no difference. They were too busy licking their wounds, seeking loved ones. Few people knew what had actually happened in those days in Vizima. They were those who destiny had brought together with Geralt of Rivia. Yet, they chose to remain silent. What then happened to the Witcher? That is a different tale entirely.
Well...
Temeria and Redania are allies, thanks in no small part to you. For your toil, a worthy pouch of gold.
Your Highness.
Count it, count it.
Master. Farewell, sire.
You didn't count it. You didn't even check in. Whoa. I wanted that ranged ability. My money. Do you know him? Do I know him? Alright people, it's done. I am very satisfied. It was a good experience and I had a good time. I always looked forward to play this game in my schedule and it was good fun. The game was good, well designed. Of course there are issues and of course I have my own preferences, but now I will discuss them a bit. But thank God we have The Witcher 2 now, I suppose. So we can continue, straight away. I don't know if you'll see a gap between this Let's Play and the other one. I'm not sure yet. Probably I'm gonna take some time off, not a holiday, but some time off, so I don't really know. I need to cool music, by the way. I hope it's not copyrighted, otherwise I'm effed. I will be trying to find some necessary mods for The Witcher 2 if I want to. I will be probably playing a little bit of it at the beginning, just to, exactly like I did with The Witcher, just to be sure about the commands and stuff, because I don't really want to waste much time with that. I don't really want to waste an episode with that. So, in the last cutscene, that assassin seemed to be a Witcher as well, or something else. I'm not sure, I have no indication. We know that there are other Witcher groups, supposedly somewhere, but I don't really know. I don't know anything. So the fact that the Order was behind the whole Salamandra thing, it was pretty easy to figure out or to expect. Easy to expect, I don't know how to say that. Anyway, it was, let's say, easy to figure it out and easy to deduct, which is not a fault at all. I'd rather have obvious and plausible than shocking and stupid. I don't know if you get my meaning, but I love when things make sense, so I'd rather take that over surprise, because a surprise that doesn't make sense to me is just rubbish. I also think that it would have been interesting to play the game as an ally of the Order, because maybe it would have made the betrayal of the Order or the Grandmaster more poignant. So that's something I want to replay with, the siding with the Order, absolutely. I also don't know, but maybe Siegfried would have some different reaction, or maybe you could do something with him, I don't know. The faction that I find least interesting is probably the Scoia'tael, but I will try that as well in time. I think we need to talk about this Alvin thing that I suspect. Alvin is a source, right? And he got lost in space/time, so it's perfectly possible that at the end of the day he would be Jacques de Alsberg. I just wish it was confirmed, just because it would be great that, from my point of view, that would be the end of the story, the cycle that ends the story. I wish there was a confrontation with Triss about this. Instead we have it kind of with Dandelion, but it's alright. Maybe, I don't know, honestly, if I like the idea that is not confirmed or not. I would have liked the reveal. Maybe not from Jacques himself, but from deductions, various deduction. But I also liked the way Geralt took it, which is, even if that was Alvin, it doesn't matter. I also loved that, so maybe the ending is just fine as it is. Plus, the ending, yeah, this is an ending, but it's already hinting that something else gonna happen. I said just a few minutes ago that Alvin was a blonde. Well, if you're a mage, and you can, as I've said already, and I think somebody also answered me in the comments saying that mages can alter the way they look like. So Alvin might as well have learned how to look different. He doesn't look that different if you look at his face. But honestly, if you're a blonde, if you're a natural blonde when you're a little kid, you grow up to be a blonde and you die as a blonde. Unless you dye your hair, but you will always be blonde. Some blonde people, some blonde children are a hoax, kind of. They become darker with age. That's also true, but if you're a real blonde, I don't know what Alvin was. So he could have altered his appearance, but honestly, he could just look like an aged Alvin. You know, he was transported in time. In the past, he was able to become the Grand Master of the Order, and kudos to him, because I would be proud. I mean, he ended up being a psychopath, but think about it. This kid is also self-taught, basically. And look where it got him. I'm proud of him. Also, remember when, fun stuff, when he was playing the Kill the Elves game? I don't know. He was always saying, I am always the Grand Master, I think he used the word, I am always the Grand Master in this game. So that's foreshadowing much, right? I think he said that. The only thing that puts me a little bit off about this theory is that every time he says that you know him, you have known him in the past. The problem is that for you, the player, the past you think Jacques is referring to is before you lose your memory, and Alvin happened after you lose your memory. Have I made my point? So every time he was referring to you knew me, I thought before I lost my memory, which is not when I met Alvin. Alvin I met afterwards. I lost my memory. So that's a little bit unclear, but it's not that much of a problem. I don't know if in the next games the prophecy will be fulfilled or something will happen about the next cataclysm or whatever. Though I'm inclined to think I'm very peculiar with the time traveling thing, time traveling plots. As I've said before, I'm fine with it as long as it all sticks to a single timeline, which seems what they did here with Alvin, if that's true, if the Alvin thing it's true. I don't like the travel time jumps which result in many different realities that coexist all together. Could Jacques the Iceberg coexist with Alvin? Yes, it could, because if it's a straight timeline, one only timeline, then it works perfectly. It's nice. I like it. But I think this is a discussion that's done with. The next cataclysm could be, instead of dimensions merging or crashing or whatever, it could be about time crashing, maybe. The vision was a reflection of Alvin's mind or Jacques' mind, whatever, but it is mentioned in your journal that the skullheads, that are these monsters that you find in the last bit of the game in the vision, are supposed to be extinct already. So they were they were the Neanderthals, sort of. Maybe not the Neanderthals, but something like that. They look quite a bit like that. So the prophecy either hints of a cycle repeating, hints about, I don't know what's the preposition, about a cycle repeating, or several different dimensions timeline crashing and creating a cataclysm again. Because I don't think a cycle would create a cataclysm. But I don't know, I don't even know if endgame of all the three games is the prophecy. It seems like it, but I don't know. I really liked in this game the creative fights. I have to say I enjoyed how you could fight some bosses in a different way, and not with your skills, but using the environment, like the Kimorguin or Dagon, for example, that you had to kill the followers and then he would be destroyed. The Golem, for example. There are many of these fights, and I found that really refreshing. I like when you can use the environment, or you can use, tricks or weak points for monsters and stuff. I really liked the crafting of potions. I have not tried the oils and the bombs. That's for another time. I've already decided that I could play a Geralt that is completely sided with humans 100% with the Order, and using no signs whatsoever. So there, I will need to work on bombs and oils. I really liked the signs. I hoped I could maximize them all by the end of the game, but I couldn't. I preferred maximizing the base attributes like dexterity, intelligence, endurance. I preferred a strong base. But immediately next were the signs and then the combat skills. I think you sort of saw that a couple of times when I showed the kind of leveling that I had, but I didn't really show it through, so... I liked the leveling also, talking about leveling, that was fine. Also the combat, the combat modes were fine, I enjoyed them. The environments were good, the interaction with the environments was good. I liked the daylight cycle well enough. The fact that all the NPCs had a schedule and had dialogue and some interesting ones. There was some interesting dialogue even in between simple NPCs, the ones that you don't even talk to. Alright. I did enjoy quite many NPCs. They were good. They were not very fleshed out in depth, but it's fine. I liked Zoldan. I liked Kalkstein. Some of them I really never did know in the end, like Leuvaarden, but I guess it wasn't that important. I also disliked some of them. For example, I'm fine with Adilion, but I don't particularly like him, or I didn't particularly like having a Halvin behind. I didn't particularly like Shani or Triss, but that's a whole other thing, because I think that as NPC females, they were really lacking. Because they just behaved like teenagers, and I don't know the average age in this game, but I don't even know Geralt's age, but it could be. Maybe witches have an elongated lifetime because of the mutagens, so I cannot give him an age. He's not 20. I would say that he's more past his 30s and probably 40s. I don't know. But the women were quite disappointing. I guess they were just supposed to create some drama around Geralt, so it's fine. I see what it is. I'm not judging the game badly because the female NPCs were bad. They were what they were. I really cannot believe that two grown women would act like this, especially Triss, because Shani seems to be younger, but probably just because the way she looks. From Triss I would have expected a little bit more maturity, I suppose, but I was slightly disappointed, but did that make me hate the game? No, absolutely not. I think that the thing that disappointed me the most that is related to females NPC is the fact of the forced romances. No matter, even if I stayed out of them, no matter, I was always forced. The game was deciding that for me. And it was more fastidious to me, this aspect, than having a protagonist which I was playing that already had a set personality. Because Geralt has his own personality, which I enjoy, but limits their playing value a little bit. I like him, and I agree with him 90% of the time, except when he's dealing with women. But I guess that's all tied to the forced romance thing, so there we go. The camera made me mad. I have no words. I will try when I replay this game to use I don't remember the name of the camera. The last one, the freezed one, the one you use without a mouse, I think. Why I don't remember the name, I don't know, but anyway. The camera was especially bad in closed environments. I will never forget that. I hope The Witcher 2 is a little bit different on that aspect. Back to Geralt. I felt, but I said this in the first episode of this Let's Play, I felt a little bit the fact that I couldn't decide his personality. Luckily, I was in line with him, with the kind of Witcher I wanted to play. So that kind of worked out. I have problems with set characters, especially if you want me to roleplay. If you want me to roleplay, you don't give me a set character. I am fine with Geralt as long as I play this Geralt. I have to say this, he's a complete, I don't know, idiot when it comes to women. I'm sorry, Geralt. And these women are also teenagers, so sometimes I felt like I was playing a high school game or something like that. High school Geralt and friends. Oh, good lord. I'm not mad at this, but I felt the lack of ranged abilities and a stealth mode. Maybe it wouldn't have worked out. Maybe this Witcher, if he's a Witcher that we have met now, that he's an assassin, maybe he is the one Witcher that belongs to a school of only stealthy Witchers. So what do I know? Maybe Geralt is just not from a school of stealthy Witchers. He's a fighter, and that's about it. Fighter and uses magic as well. Something other that I found a difficulty with was the journal. I would have liked all the backlogs, everything that I did, because some things I could only find again by rewatching the episodes that conveniently I had recorded. But what if I wasn't recording? I would have probably had to go look in a guide what Kalkstein said to me, or what, because in the journal it was not written. The codex was poor at best. Maybe that was wanted, but if I'm dealing with political events, I need timelines and chronologies and successions. I know that I've lost my memory, you have lost your memory, but nothing stops you from picking up a book. This is logical. You can do some history research. Books and history can be warped by the ones who win the wars. We all know that. We could have, all of us, been studying the wrong history up till now. But still, it would have been some kind of help to have some more information in the codex. I thank you for having given me some bits and pieces in the comments. Of course, that was just fine. But this doesn't really compensate for a lacking journal. But I have appreciated it. I just wish the game was more specific. I did not really, but this is a personal preference, enjoyed the fact that the Witcher world seems to be interlocked. Is that even a word? Whatever, I hope you understand. With ours. For example, I remember Saint George. In our culture is Saint George, but in this game being a witcher, the Witcher that slayed the dragon. That's a nope for me. It is interesting that the merging of dimensions of the cataclysms could include us, so could include real life, but it doesn't work. Especially for me, because I'm still here, in my real life. I don't see Witchers around. So yeah, this is an alternate world in which our universe crashed with other universes, and I just can't buy it personally, but this is a personal thing. I want to say this is personal, it's not a fault. It's what probably the writer chose to do with the Witcher series, so I cannot really judge it, except saying that I don't like it. I didn't like the whole Graal thing. I think this was a addition by CD Projekt Red, though. They could have made up something else, guys. It doesn't need to be mind-blowing. It just needs to make sense. You can create a Graal with a different name, as I've said before. One other thing was the mages. So both Alvin / Jax and Azar are supposed to be mages, right? They have seldom used magic, and that let me down a little bit. I did enjoy the fights nonetheless. Azar's fight a little bit less, honestly, but I did enjoy the endgame fight. But they never really behaved like mages. So I think the only pure mage I fought at the beginning when I was going after Triss in Kermoren. Probably they could not implement mages well, so they left them out. Probably because a mage would have destroyed Geralt for real. A proper mage would have destroyed Geralt. I still don't know to this point how would I have dealt with a pure mage that actually deals damage. With Alvin, I have the Jax. I have the excuse that he was self-taught, and then he decided to be more of a knight than a full-blown mage. Fine, but I don't have any justification for Azar, really. And now let's come to the end of this talk, because it's probably getting boring by this point. The real problem that I had with the game. I'm fine with the game, by the way, guys. I have enjoyed it, as I've said before. I will replay it. I suggest people to buy it because it's fun. But here it is. The memory loss issue. It's okay because people who haven't read the books are advantaged by this loss of memory. Even I am advantaged by this loss of memory, but it's not explainable in any way. It becomes a huge loophole and a huge plot hole. Why no one of your friends and the people that are around you actually talks to you about your past. But not only that, some people tease you about your past and some people mock you about your past, like Dandelion when he was talking about the Regis. It's a narrative device that one has to handle carefully. I repeat, memory loss are fine, but you have to handle them carefully. And this game loses control over that. Now, luckily for me, I realized that the game wasn't really going to let me do what I wanted. So I guess I stopped taking the game so seriously as I would if I didn't encounter inconsistencies. For example, I knew I wasn't be able to roleplay as the Geralt I wanted, so there, I let it go. At some point in the game, I knew that I could not live in peace without having a halfway relationship or whatever, and I let that go. So because I let things go, this memory issue, it's not a big deal for me now. Take this game as it comes, I guess, even with the inconsistencies. Then it's up to you if you want to enjoy it at that point or not. I prefer games without inconsistencies, but I did enjoy this game nonetheless. There were really very many, and I can't list them all, nice moments and everything. I am very happy that I made this experience, and again, I recommend people to buy it, and with the limitations this game has. The reason why I didn't buy this game when it came out was because I wasn't paying full money for a game where I couldn't roleplay, but I have enjoyed it years later, and it's fine. This was a very enjoyable experience, and I wish to continue it. I wish to go through Witcher 2, and I wish to go through Witcher 3. I'm really thankful for everybody who watched this Let's Play and commented and enjoyed it with me, and thank you for your company. I hope you leave a like, and I hope you subscribe if you want to see more, and I hope you had a good time and you enjoyed it, because that's the important thing. I enjoyed it, you enjoyed it, so we are here to enjoy games. Thank you very much, guys. To the next one. I hope I see you soon. I don't know, we'll see.